Dear Arcturians, I am recording this conversation because I want to hear your answer inside of me. I don't feel like writing it right now. Somehow, I have to complete the process of connecting my multidimensional operating system into my third dimensional circuitry. All of the things that I am doing within the now of the One cannot be done when I am bound to a sequential, time-driven reality. I know that you are teaching me to remember how to live beyond time, and I know that living beyond time and closing the infinite loop of time is a vital component of our planetary and personal ascension. I ask now for you to speak to me, through me, regarding this question. Dearest Suzanne, we are within you now, and we say now, for we are within the now of infinitely being within you. We have always been within you. How could we not? Because we are you, and you are us. And more each day, the illusion of the gap between us closes tighter and tighter. Until soon, you will no longer have to take your breath and focus your energies in order to communicate via us. Soon, you will just be us. But as you know, your third dimensional brain cannot contain the information, the frequency of information, the quantity of information, and the multidimensional quality of information that we are giving to you within this now of the One. Therefore, it is vital that you completely close that gap, and that you do so now. We want to let you know that this may not be a comfortable process for your physical body and for the circuitry of your physical brain. However, you will be on vacation for a few days next week. Will be a good time for you to integrate this process. Nonetheless, we shall begin now, because now you have asked, which means that you are ready. You have been frustrated by having to go from communing with the multidimensional world to the infinite time-bound details of your third dimensional life. Therefore, we will assist you in closing that gap. And as that gap is completely closed, you will perceive the myriad details of your third dimensional reality via the perspective of your multidimensional self. With this perception, you will no longer be hidden amongst the myriad trees that surround you and make you feel lost and confused. Instead, you will have the perspective of floating above the forest and seeing the route before you laid out in a beaming thread of light. We ask you now to completely relax your physical brain. We ask you now to ease your forehead, to open your crown, to look into and through your third eye, to relax your neck so that the words that come through your human-bound voice can continue even if they feel somewhat disassociated from your third-dimensional articulation process. Allow that relaxation to float down into your high heart. Feel the flame of wisdom as it encompasses you and allows you to remember. Remember being a high priestess on Poseidon in Atlantis before the fall. Remember all that you knew and bring it forth into your current files, your current folders, and the circuitry of your brain. We start with your Atlantean information, for you were holding a physical form, especially at that time. The frequency was not as low as your physical form within this time, but there was indeed a physical format. On the other hand, when we speak through your Arcturian recollections, you are free of form, and so it is much more difficult for your third-dimensional circuitry to accept and understand this information. Feel this information now. The information that you knew on Atlantis, the ability to leave time. You remembered that during the fall of Atlantis that you died, but you did not die. None of our ones that came to assist Gaia with her transition died, because just at the exact moment where the physical vehicle was no longer able to maintain your light, you stepped out of time. Now that was easier then, because there was no physical world to leave. It was in the midst of a disaster. Now your task is much more difficult, for you still have to drive a car. You still have to walk along the streets. You still have to speak in your human language to other humans. You still have to pay your bills and do your dishes. You still have to maintain a third-dimensional vehicle, while your consciousness is expanding far beyond the limitations of that small and quite weak vehicle. We ask you now to enter into our perception. Feel us around you. Feel how you are among us always and have never left us. And look into the vehicle that you have logged into, that you have copied and pasted your consciousness into, and give that vehicle your unconditional love. Tell that vehicle how much you care for it and how proud you are. And let it know that it is all right, that it became overwhelmed by the spectrum of information and energy fields that it has been collecting. In order for your third-dimensional brain to fully connect with your multidimensional circuitry, which is fully downloaded and integrated into your consciousness, into your aura, in order for your third-dimensional brain to integrate it, it has to go through the firewall of your fourth-dimensional aura, or the energies would be too much, too fast, far too high of a frequency. So we ask that first you perceive your fourth-dimensional aura. Feel it all around you. Realize that your aura, just as you perceive it around your physical body, also surrounds every individual cell of your physical form. And within your aura are all of the fourth-dimensional elemental spirit beings who are willing and able and have specifically volunteered to assist you. One of the first ones, one of the prototypes, one of the openers, to plug in your multidimensional consciousness into your fourth-dimensional aura firewall, and then to connect your fourth-dimensional firewall into the circuitry of your third-dimensional brain. Allow yourself to take a long, deep breath. In fact, take several long, deep breaths. Feel your aura, not just around you, as your third-dimensional thinking has created it. Your third-dimensional thinking is focused on separation. So therefore your fourth-dimensional aura is somewhat separate from your third-dimensional body and surrounds your third-dimensional body. Feel that imaginary separation that your third-dimensional mind has created, that polarity of your aura on one end and your physical form on the other. Now within your imagination, collapse that polarity. Pull the physical form more and more and more to the middle of the polarity. Pull the aura more and more and more to the center of the polarity. Pull them together. Collapse them into one. As you collapse them into one, into the oneness, as you collapse them into the oneness, feel the integration of your fourth-dimensional aura around each and every cell of your physical form. We pause for a moment to allow you to integrate that component of this process.